Ooh. Okay, let's go through this real fast. We have accumulated a few days of data and player feedback following the update. We're planning to make adjustments that addresses outliers in both group play and in PvP. The following changes will go live when scheduled. Weekly maintenance in each region on May 5th in this region. For the first classes, the Death Knight Frost, all damage has been increased further by 5%. That is wild. Unholy. Developer notes, Unholy Death Knight is performing better than intended after recent bug fixes. Oh my god, those cocks, bro. That is so disrespectful. So they originally intended to nerf Unholy.
They better not nerf H-Pal after the buff.
They originally intended to nerf Unholy. We all knew that was happening, right? They intended to nerf Unholy.
Yeah, but they messed it up.
And then they messed up the nerf so badly that they're like, hey, that actually feels like a bug. We fixed the bug. Sorry about that. And then they're like, ooh, but we actually liked the damage they were doing with the bug. Yikes. We're gonna go ahead and bring you guys all the way fucking down. That's so disrespectful. That makes me feel like the bug was always intended. Like, that was a sabotage attempt to see if they could get Unholy to such a low spot and how dramatically that would affect people's transition. And then they saw that every single person swapped to Frost and the Unholy Discords went crazy. And they're like, okay, let's do it. Make them all play Frost for the rest of the year. Could you imagine, bro, if they leave Unholy nerfed into the ground until next expansion? They've been, to be fair, Unholy has been one of the most toxic classes in the game right now. If you talk to an Unholy Death Knight on the forums, even in the TikTok space, like on almost social media, these Unholy mains are really aggressively toxic. And I think Blizzard's been pretty pissed off with them for a while. I think this isn't a fucking class nerf. I think this is a community nerf. Because we as a community need to do better. It's pretty gross. You guys got like some TikTok accounts banned because you were going nutty. If you guys don't know about this, don't look up Unholy Death Knights on social media and shit. It gets gross. So now they're gonna go fucking rampage. They're gonna storm the White House, man. Magus of the Dead, Shadow Bolt damage reduced by 15. That's pretty much their biggest damaging ability.
Yeah, it is.
That is their most damaging ability reduced by 15%. So you can automatically expect about a 10,000 damage per second nerf just from that line alone. Without a doubt. If you're doing 100,000 damage per second in a dungeon and you have a 15% nerf on your highest hitting ability, you could probably expect about a 10,000 to 8,000 damage nerf. Graveyard damage reduced by 15. That's huge too. Rider of the Apocalypse, White Main's Epidemic, the AoE Epidemic burst, the only burst they have, by 25%. Trollbane's Ice Fury, the haste buff, by 25%. And Thrill of Blood and Dread Plague, the AoE dots, by 10%.
So that's a buff.
That one's a buff.
That's for Sand Lane.
Sane Lane gets a buff is crazy. Hey, for all the Unholy guys, your class is no longer playable, but if you want to try Sane Lane, go for it. This is dirty disrespectful, Blizzard. And to even add the developer note. Wild. Okay. He's switching to Frost. There's not a chance in hell he's going to compete. Like, he'll switch to his Hunter before he switches to Frost. If
Yeah,
we
we'll have to
need
run
him to. We're going to have to
some
test.
tens or something on Tuesday to see.
I mean, we have him Monday, so we gotta get to some 14s with him on Monday before we're gonna have to do a whole recovery week. Demon Hunter, Devour, damage reduced by 3. Good job, Blizz. That's exactly what they needed. 3%, baby. Fucking what? Annihilator Voidfall meter damage reduced by 12. And Annihilator Meteoric Rise damage bonus for Void Ray reduced to 10. And this is also in PvP. That's a good note. That's a really good note. This is also in PvP. Okay. All right.
I would guess overall it's probably about a 5% nerf.
Yeah, that's not too much. This is going to be pretty big in PvP. Voidfall Meteor is basically like their one-shot mechanic. So that's going to be 12% less effective now. That'll be very useful. And with versatility, that's probably going to be livable now. Vengeance, thick skin now increases armor by 185. Good little buff for them. Not too bad. Guardian. Holy shit, what is this developer's fucking paragraph? Guardian
They do too
druids
much damage.
have continued to overperform in single target while experiencing difficulties with threat and sustained damage outside of cooldowns. With these changes, we're aiming to reduce burst potential and transfer some of that power into a more reliable, consistent abilities. That's fair. This needs to have happened a long time ago. They really are trying to avoid the classes doing this, which is why they're nerfing Devourer's burst, because they want the classes to do this. They want you guys to climb and then peak, and then maybe get jumps with like heroes and stuff. But they want the overall class to always be pretty steady. So this is just going to be a steady, like, they're making your bursts go away, but they're keeping your damage the same. It'll be probably an even play. Wild Guardian Echo effectiveness reduced by 100%. Red Moon damage reduced by 20. Maul damage reduced. Good, that was way too powerful of a buff. Raise damage reduced. Ravage damage reduced. Thrash direct damage increased. Thrash bleed damage increased. Okay. They fucked your single target, but they made your AoE much better. Thrash by 200% is bonkers. That's gonna do so much damage in, like, think of Algather Academy. Do you have a boom? Do you have a Guardian? It might be worth testing.
I don't.
You wanna start one with me and my augmentation scaly? Restoration, all healing reduced by 3. Everbloom heals for 20 to 40, and Lifebloom's final heal was 20 to 50, not in PvP. Okay. Why not in PvP? That's fine. Evoker augmentation. All damage dealt and pet damage reduced by 5%. What pet damage? There's a bug that they fixed.
The little ones that flew in, whatever.
Oh, okay. The scale commander thing, then. Yeah, that's what. And they also spawn in
They're
clones.
trash in
That's
PvP,
right.
TBH.
That's crazy to come in with a roast. Who starts a conversation that way? Guardians one-shotting and solo shuffles was so funny. That's good, yeah. We got lucky we didn't play any Guardians today, but I saw the clips on TikTok. It made me sick. Corey, welcome in. And then developers no effective damage will be unchanged for devastation. Okay, so just a 5% nerf for augmentation. That's not going to be a lot. Beast Mastery. All damage dealt by you and your pets increased by 4%, baby! Let's fucking go, dude! That's massive. That's really big. That's like 5,000 damage per second at least. Just flat out right there. No joke. Huge.
Yeah, that was a pretty big aura buff.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice for us. That's gonna make it edge out to where like I'm probably gonna parse better on Beast Mastery now. But that might make me stay Beast Mastery for a while. Because I've been bouncing between Survival and Beast depending on the comp. We have melee already, so now I can just stay Beast Mastery range util, right? And then we bring in a Pumper.
Nothing, so.
Yeah, Blue's hopping on his fucking Void Demon Hunter, which I'm hoping that 3% nerf isn't going to be too much. I think he's still going to be fine. We're going to test it. He did 126k on his 270 today. Is that not wild?
Sweet new patch.
That makes sense. That's what I was doing about that level.
It's Devour is disgusting, bro. So he'll be our pumper. We'll bring him in. We'll get him a lot more gear because you're going to be on leather, which is going to be helpful. Who else is on leather on the team? No, we have plate and we have chainmail. Oh, Voodoo. Yes, dude. We could totally gear him out fast. That's so sick because he's going to start bringing his monk. I'm monk certifying him because he got 3k. So it's going to be a double monk situation, but I think it's going to be better for the team. We're going to try it out. I'm making an executive decision. If someone's going to get bumped, it'll probably end up being the monk to whatever we want it to be. Guardian seems interesting to try, but did you guys get a buff or nerf? Are you in a good spot? We'll get to it.
We got a nerf.
Oh, that's... Well, it's not going to affect you. You're still fucking such a gangster. It's not going to matter. Marksmanship?
It's not super huge, but yeah, it's I mean, noticeable.
Marksmanship, rapid fire damage increased by 20%. Explosive shot damage increased by 100%. This is literally what I talked about. Remember when we tested this earlier this week?
Yeah.
And I was all like, okay, so now they've tested the build, right? They have the flow state. They know where Marksman's going to be. Now they just need to touch the damage. Marksmanship's going to be worth a test again. That's definitely going to be worth a test again. So And that's going to be good in PvP. This is also in PvP. Explosive shot PvP, arcane shot PvP, steady shot also in PvP after the 200% buff last week. This is doing 300% more damage than it was 2 weeks ago. That is some crazy number tuning.
Gonna help out their spiky damage.
Yeah, that's really gonna actually... This explosive shot is massive. Because if you can get the extra percentage on it with the marksman shot... Dude, that's aim shot into explosive shot into an aim shot into a rapid fire into steady shot spam. That bitch is dead. You'll kill anybody. If you can nail that with black arrow throw-ins, that would be crazy. That's definitely worth testing. For sure we're testing that. Mage Frost, shatter damage to primary target reduced by 6%. Damn, that's a pretty big... Your fear me says, ow's crazy. That's gonna be good in PvP. Shatter damage to primary target reduced by 6. So that's a pretty big buff. That means Frost and Ice Lance and Flurry hits less, right? Pretty much.
I think so. I'm not familiar with most mage that much.
Shatter is when you activate the Frost effect, and it's a crit. It causes a crit to happen, but you have to have the target be considered frozen, and that only happens if you've got the Shatter proc. So 6% on just the shatter. So this is not a flat overall damage. This is just going to kind of level off some of those really crazy ice lances or flurries. So no ice lances, no flurries hitting like crazy. 6% is not much though. That's only going to be like primary too. Yeah, really, that's... I don't even know. Like that's going to be maybe 3K. I don't even know why they would do that. Like they've already nerfed him a little bit, but that's a weird one to throw.
Yeah, they said it was a bug fix.
It must have been a bug fix. Yeah, bug fixes last week. Okay, so they're just trying to correct that. That makes sense. Brewmaster. Higher tolerance refunds 2 to 4 seconds of purifying brews cooldown when cast at an elevated stagger. It was 3 to 6. So yeah, that's 1 second less of a refund. Zen State increases stagger effectiveness by 15% based on the scene health was 20. I always hate how they when they label nerfs by putting the original at the back, when they should have said Zen State's effectiveness has been reduced by 5% to 15. Like, say the reduced. Show that it was a nerf. They just don't want to always show that it's a nerf. They try to hide it. But yeah, that's not too bad. 5% effectiveness on stagger because of Zen State. Is that just a buff you have during something specific, or is that stagger's effectiveness overall is 5% less effective?
Zen State was a talent that we chose, and it's really just kind of bringing it down a little bit. The consensus from looking at the Monk Discord is that you'll feel it more in the hierarchies, but they're still going to wait to see how it feels.
Is there probably a talent that you could take other than that in that row that'd be better that we could test first?
No, they said it's still going to be the best. It was way far and above the best talent points you could put into it. So
if you've got a plan, I trust you. I'll follow you. What's plan B?
Oh no, it shouldn't affect us. From what I'm reading, it'll be perfectly fine for what we're doing. So
plan B is to look at plan A and do it all over again.
Yeah, basically. We just, I mean
if they completely like neutered my monk, I would probably just level up my warrior, finish that up.
Warrior would be sick too. I feel like warrior's always good to have just in case. Like warrior, is warrior ever not in the top 3 ever? I feel like they're always the 3rd best tank in every expansion.
Either middle of the pack or above.
They're never the worst and they're never the best, but they're always there. So it's always a good secondary for sure. I think Brewmaster's gonna be fine. You're probably gonna get a damage buff because you guys got a defensive buff, and that's gonna come in a week or 2, which is gonna be helpful. Paladin, Holy, Eternal Flame healing increased, Word of Glory healing increased, and Light of Dawn healing increased. That's a pretty big buff. That's also in PvP as well, so Holy getting some love across the board. Protection, base armor increased by 10%. That's so disrespectful.
You say 10%?
They gave prop pallies 10% more and thought that's enough.
I want whatever class has grip in PvP as a partner log.
What? Dude, that's so crazy. Sugar, thank you for joining the RTD fan club. I appreciate you, everyone that's been hopping in. Thank you guys so much. Dude, do you not find that disrespectful as a tank main? If you played prop pally and you know the issues they're dealing with right now and how they need like a full kit rechange, they need hero talents rework, they need an Apex talent rework,
What was
and
the
this is all you
change?
saw, what do you feel?
See, that's the thing is that I've seen successful high-level players as paladins, and they're able to clear some hierarchies too. It's just you have to know the class. It's
Right.
not as easy to walk into. That was one of the reasons why Brewmaster were so powerful, is that because with the changes they made with Stagger, you have a lot more forgiveness if I didn't hit my cooldown, but that's fine. I'm going to purify the damage anyways.
Right. No, yeah, totally
Whereas
right.
Paladin, you get one shot if you don't have your stuff in and you walk into a freaking pack.
That's true. It's crazy.
So,
I've seen so many Algother keys blow up because of Pallies and DKs. But I've also seen so many blow up to a Brewmaster who thinks that they can handle all three and they can't. So
Yeah.
it's literally you got to know how much you can handle. That's always tanking 101 and not being too cocky. That's tanking 102. So do you think this was a fair buff?
Doing a lot of damage. They're like one of the highest damage tanks.
They definitely are. Yeah, I've seen them go crazy on the damage meters. Do you think this was fair?
I think they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So
I think you're right.
They're trying to find a way to slow down people's progression.
Yeah, I mean, the 10% armor is good for them because it's going to help get rid of some of their damage that they're taking. I mean, it really is going to be a big damage reduction for them. So,
Yeah.
like, I think they also have talents and abilities that increase that armor even more. So
Right.
it might be a bigger buff than what we think.
No, yeah, the base armor increase here is 10% for sure. So the base armor, and then they use Shield of the Righteous, which increases their armor by 45% on top of that new base. That's easily almost 50% more armor just from that one ability, and they've got a lot of other abilities that do that. So this is actually a pretty significant big buff. I just think it's lazy. Like, I do think they deserve it. This is a pretty fair buff. It's going to help them out a lot. For me, it shows we did zero effort to try to make this more interesting.
PvP.
Like, they couldn't tweak the numbers on something. They couldn't make it fit 47% armor increase on Shield of the Righteous. They couldn't tweak something about the kit to be a damage reduction or some type of shielding. Like, it feels so lazy just to go 10% armor, call it a day. Shake our hands.
Or giving them
No?
the benefit out is that they look at it and say, "Oh yeah, their kit's working fine. They just need a little bit more survivability."
Okay. Yeah, let the lowers, like, they just lowered the skill ceiling a little bit because now you can have more armor, so you're more forgiven for the mistakes you make. Where before you were completely destroyed if you made a mistake in the rotation or pulling system or defensive rotation and cooldown management. Okay, I can see that. So good buff. Overall good buff. W.
What'd they do to the warlocks? I didn't hear you.
We're not there yet. We're on priest.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant warlock
I'm gonna say W. Good job, prop pallies. That's actually potentially something maybe interested too, because I love a prop pally for Mythic Plus. They're probably my favorite class for Mythic Plus because of the Avenging Shield and interrupts. Like
battle res.
the battle res, the interrupts, everything about them is just so fucking cool. So I would always, if you don't have a pally yet, that would be my next. If I got to pick
Thank
as
God
my
for my
tank
bubble
on the
drink.
team, it would be that. But that's me being biased. I just love pallies. Discipline. Our goal here is slightly rein in Atonement's healing contribution in raid environments while keeping its effectiveness in smaller group content. Atonement damage transfer has been increased to 30, was 28, so 2% buff, not applied in PvP. And Atonement healing now decays more rapidly beyond 5 targets. Wow. Okay, so if you've got 6 targets, it's going to go down faster, making it harder to keep up. That's tough. When healing 20 injured allies with Atonement, it would previously be reduced by 50%. With the new scaling, it will be reduced to 60%. Holy, all healing increased by 6%, baby! Let's go!
Not applied to PvP combat.
Not in PvP, which kind of fucking sucks. I definitely could have used that in PvP today for sure. We got our shit kicked
I
in
don't know.
all
Remember,
day.
your healing was pretty on point. It was your damage.
Yeah, my damage, and I could have used a damage buff here. If I got another 5% damage here, that would have made me such a happy boy. Did you see that one clip when I nuked that hunter? I need to go back and get that one. That
Bandage
hunter
and
clip was
PvP wall.
crazy. I was like, no, poof, poof. I was just like chunking his HP as a holy priest. That shit was so funny. Okay. Holy getting a buff is awesome. Rogue Outlaw. All damage increased by 5. Damn, Peak's gonna be happy, but it doesn't affect PvP. Trickster, Cloud Cover primary and secondary duration reduced to 6. Trickster, Cloud Cover, no cause phase to stack 1 additional time. I don't know what any of this fucking means. I'm assuming these are buffs. Because it says was 10, is now 1, was 2, is 12, now was
No,
10.
those are nerfs.
Crit bonus increased to 12%. It was 10. Is that not a buff?
That one is. The cloud cover one was a nerf because they reduced
now
it.
Now causes phase to stack
from
1
10 to
additional
6.
time. Oh, it was 2. Okay, yes. So that's a nerf by 1. The other one's a buff. Stacks phase granted by cloud cover no longer increase the magnitude of secondary attacks. Alright, I'm assuming Outlaw's happy with the damage increase and some changes to Trickster. I don't know. If you're an Outlaw rogue, let me know. I'll bring Peak on and he can tell us about it. But he doesn't play PvE, so it doesn't really matter. Subtlety, all damage increased by 7? That's crazy, bro. What? God, this is where, like, actually, like, if I had to pick, if we're gonna go Devour or Demon Hunter, and Augmentation and Devour both just got a nerf, and Unholy's unplayable, Subtlety Rogue would be my next pick. Because of the util. You know what I mean? We really gotta start leveling up alts. We all have to grind out alts soon. Once we get 3,400, all of our Monday nights, like all of our actual progression nights, are just gonna turn into alt leveling until we have a full team.
I love Rogue, they get a bad rap.
Because that's gonna be the only way that we can deal with this. They don't normally do this many buffs and nerfs, right? Like, this is unusual. In my memory, they don't do it normally this often. Generally, it's like 1 or 2, and then they don't touch it until the end of the season, right?
Yeah, that's normal, yeah.
So why are they changing it so much? We're in like the 5th, 6th week here, bro. 7th week. We're a month and a half out, and they're changing this much still. Significant. Like, Unholy's unplayable in the high keys now. If that is as big of a nerf as I think it is. Yeah, that is so brutal to do to, like, these hard level teams. Subtlety would be nice. 7% already on top of them being in a top 5 DPS spec this is a massive W. I don't know why they got a buff. This is almost as stupid as BM getting a buff. If they're in the top 10, they shouldn't really be getting buffs, Blizz. But we'll take it. Trickster Cloud does the same thing. All the Trickster changes are the same. Let me know if this is nice, sub. Because that looks pretty nice. You might get invited into groups now. Maybe. Enhancement. All ability damage increased by 5. Good for them, finally. Auto attack damage increased by 10. There you go. Resolve an issue. Bug. Stormbreeder natural gift now causes nature. Stormbreeder Voltic Surge now increases the damage of Crash Lightning and Chain Lightning by 20. Not bad. That's not bad at all. Okay, enhancement. Give it some love. Probably not good enough yet to go over Elemental, especially because Elemental saw no nerfs. But, you know, maybe enhancement will feel a little better, especially in PvP. Those look like some pretty big PvP changes. Warlock, Unstable Affliction damage increased by 20. Seed of Corruption.
Back to fucking Affliction.
Seed of Corruption damage increased by 10. Corruption damage increased by 20. This change does not affect Wither. And Agony damage increased by 10. That's wild.
I'm flipping back to Affliction. Fuck this demon bullshit.
What? That's so good for them.
That's a light 150 to 160k DPS right there.
On Agatha,
they'll be able to compete with the freaking demonologies now.
This is where I would say I would switch to Warlock.
That's gonna be better than Demo.
This is where I'm failing because I don't have enough alts either.
Affliction.
We all need to level
boring.
up alts. I don't have a Warlock. I would absolutely be switching to Affliction Warlock right now. Or I would have already been playing Elemental Shaman.
Well, the damage
The AoE bursts on that is gonna be insane.
Yeah,
Dude.
that's what I'm wondering. Like, how much is the burst gonna be for initial burst for Affliction? High keys is gonna be great, but for lower keys, you might not see that big of a change.
No, that's true. Because the
For lower
things aren't
keys,
going to
you're
last. How
probably
long
gonna-
can you get before you go into burst, right? How many casts do you have to get off before you go into sicko mode?
4.
Okay. There's stuff going to be alive in 10s with 4 casts. So this is not going to affect keys that are like 6s and lower. You won't
It
see any
depends on how you
change.
spec yourself. If you spec for haste, it's going to.
True. That's true too. I hate Affliction. Dots are boring. I'm so sorry. This is crazy though. I like this a lot. I really wish I had a Warlock right now. I can maybe give up on the Og and start leveling up the Lock, but it's not going to make a difference. Warrior.
I wouldn't.
I'm going to keep leveling up Og because we need it. I'm halfway there, and Devastation could be crazy. These tuning changes are aimed to improving Warrior's performance overall, as well as compensation for damage lost due to the Deep Wounds bug fixed last week. We will continue to monitor Warrior performance and make further adjustments as needed. Arms. Execute by 20. Overpower by 20. Slayer damage increased by 40. Reap the Storm damage increased by 30. Okay, that might compete with Thane now. But this is wild. Also, this is in PvP. This is in PvP. What do you mean? What? Dude, they're like the strongest fucking class in PvP right now.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
I got my shit rocked by like 7 arms warriors today.
That's a one-shot mechanic right there. That's a one-shot.
Yeah, you get to execute range, you're gonna get hit twice and die.
That is wild. Arms warriors, enjoy your season. You guys just got instantly 200 more rating. Fury, all damage increased by 5. Also not in just PvP. Why are they buffing this? This is supposed to say not in PvP, Blizz. That's crazy. All damage increased by 5. Execute damage by 20. Raging blow by 20. Slayer by 40. Slayer by 30. Mountain Thane also damage by 50. Big, huge buffs to both. I think Arms and Fury both might be top 10 now. Protection, execute damage by 20, Mountain Thane by 30, Mountain Thane by 50. Okay. There you go. Some extra damage on a Prot Warrior as well. Player versus player. Devour. Void Scarred, Void Surge damage reduced by an additional 20%. That's awesome. Balance, Star Surge Druid damage increased by 18. Okay, Balance getting a bigger buff. Beast Mastery, all damage dealt by you and your pets reduced.
Ouch.
Well, there goes my Beast Mastery pushes. I guess I'll be practicing survival again. Or this marksmanship PvP is going to be wild. Black Arrow damage increased by 11%. All damage increased by 5%. You're fucking joking. Dude, they were already so good. Yo, the marksmanship fucking games are coming. Marksmanship PvP is on the rise, baby. Look for Redthedeer with the marksmanship climb. Oh, baby, that's going to be so sick to go into those massive explosive shot pumps. Boom, 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 boom. Dude, that's going to be awesome. I can't fucking wait. Hell yeah, Blizz. That's good shit. Fuck you guys. PvP's awesome. Buff me more. Arcane damage, Arcane Blast increased by 15 and Missile by 15. I faced some pretty nasty Arcane mages today too. Fire, Pyroblast damage reduced, good. I'll fear you is so cute. Fireball damage increased by 80. Interesting. So they want to.
Fire was like the lowest DPS out of all of them.
Yeah, so this is going to be a nerf to the burst, but a buff to sustain. So this is going to, again, level off those high peaks and valleys. They're making this more like this. Because Pyroblast not hitting as hard goes like this, but Fireball is going to make the whole thing go like this anyways.
Yeah, that was a note that they put at the top. It said the pace of PvE combat is too fast.
Yeah, Fire is getting out of control.
Oh, dude, they're trying to slow everybody down.
Is able to deal significant burst damage from the combustion windows. We'd like to reduce that. Yeah, exactly. They're really getting into this, like, stopping the peaks valleys. That's the only thing they're worried about right now. Frost, Ray of Frost damage reduced by 10%. Oh, I'm living my dream. Brewmaster, all damage reduced by 15%. Yo, we should have been running on your Brewmaster. Apparently you guys were cracked.
I'm very upset. I play in war mode all the time.
Apparently you were fucking cracked, bro. Why weren't we playing PvP? You guys got a huge nerf.
I could take on 3 people in the open world and they couldn't kill me.
That is such a big nerf. Why? We should have been doing 2s, you selfish pig. Fuck you.
I could crit people for like 100k damage.
Where was this information, bro? I was doing PvP all day today, buddy. Alright, moving on. Paladin. Holy, mana regeneration is now reduced by 35% in PvP combat. Huge. They did get a huge buff, though, across the board. So Holy is going to see a pretty nice scale up, I think. You're just not going to be able to last as long as everyone else. Protection.
No, that's a buff.
Is now reduced by 35%. Was 45? Oh, that's a huge buff. I thought that was a neutral nerf to the buffs earlier. Okay, that's a double buff for Holy Pallies. Congratulations. Protection, Templar Divine Exaction now causes Divine Toll to cast 2 additional times in PvP. Who's doing this? Who's playing Prop Pally in PvP?
Jerks.
Yeah, Jerks is right, bro. Priest Shadow, Shadow Word
pussies.
Madness damage increased by 25, and Mind Blast and Void Blast damage increased by 20. I'm gonna try Shadow. I'm gonna actually try Shadow. That sounds sick, bro. They were already pretty good. And Shadow sounds pretty fun. Okay. Rogue Outlaw, Between the Eyes damage reduced by 15%. Damn, Peak's gonna
Shadow
be
is
pissed.
fun. I loved it.
All ability damage reduced by 5. Damn, Peak's gonna be so pissed. Peak's gonna be so mad. I just ran with him all day today. Sham Restoration, Healing Wave increased by 10, and Riptide Healing increased. They got a good buff. And Warlock Destro, all damage increased by 5. Why?
They're trying to balance Destro with Demo.
I've never seen a Demo Warlock. I've
Yay.
only ever seen a Destro Warlock, and they gave them 5% more on Chaos Bolts that already like one-shot?
Well, they nerfed the shit out of our Chaos Bolts.
That's crazy.
They're just
That's right.
rebalancing them to compete with the stacks
Okay.
that Affliction's going to be doing now.
Quick, everyone gives a W, everyone gives an L. I'll start. Beast Mastery,
Don't
fucking
hate.
W. 4%'s huge. 4%
Yeah,
is huge. That's a W across the board for the team. Flat out, who cares? They're already so good. That's massive. Marksmanship, huge W. I'll give my full W to the Hunter Squad. Hunter Squad getting full buffs is pretty sick, so that's mine. But
And they
W
didn't
for
touch
you?
survival, which is good.
Yeah, they didn't do anything to nerf survival, so they're all really in a good spot. It's kind of nice. Who's another W for you, do you think? They got some decent buffs out there. Maybe Frost Death Knights? With the 5%?
Yeah, it's just an aura buff, though. That's boring.
Yeah, I think Subtlety is my next W. If I had to give another one. Outlaw getting another
That
5%
Affliction?
in PvE. Oh, Affliction Warlock? Yeah, no, you're right. No, I'll give that to you, Frost. Frost's W is Affliction Warlock. And I 100% agree. Oh, I forgot about Warriors. Warriors across the board too, right?
Yeah, Warriors.
Arms Warriors is Cal's. Alright, Cal's W, insane fucking buff to these two specs. They're both probably top 10 now. Congratulations, Warriors. And then Affliction Warlock.
Shaman got a dub.
Yeah. Enhancement, I'm happy Elemental didn't get touched and Resto didn't get touched, but Enhancement getting a little love. I don't think this is enough. Only 5 and 10 here. It'd be worth some testing if you play Shaman, but I'm guessing Elemental still
I mained
outpaces
an
this a
Enhancement
lot.
Shaman for 15 years, pretty much, so.
Alright. Warlock. How'd you like Shaman? Did you ever play Enhancement before they changed it?
Yeah, I was Enhancement for 15 years. I played Warrior in Vanilla, and then I went Enhancement Shaman in BC. I made a Draenei when they could become Shaman.
Oh
And I
my
played
God,
that
bro.
until Shadowlands. And Shadowlands I swapped.
I've always thought that, like, dual wielding melee Draenei are like, it's like my fantasy. Like, that's exactly how I imagine myself. And I'm so mad that I played Paladin before I learned they couldn't dual wield. And I was already like at my 25. And I was being like, I just didn't know how to look that stuff up yet, so I just committed to it. But I'm mad that I learned later Shamans could dual wield and Warriors could dual wield, and I never swapped. I didn't make my second character to max level until like Cataclysm.
Enhancement Shaman. They're fun.
But
They actually are really fun.
I always do the tests. I can play every class in the starter builds, and I play them, but I've never done them in the end game, and I think it'd be kind of cool to try it out. And I think Elemental would be a fun one to level up too, so that might be my next one to go through. But I'm mad I don't have a lock right now, because I would be switching to the lock for the team, without a doubt.
Enhancement Shaman's fun because you always have a button to hit.
That's cool. I like that, because Paladins are like that too. That helps my ADHD brain. Like, there's always something to hit. Like, that's the same with, like, Beast Mastery. Like,
Dual
there's
weird
basically
is so
always
cool.
something to hit. Alright, overall, who's the L's? Who's your biggest L? You want me to go
Biggest
first again? I
Unholy.
want to go reverse order, Kyle. You snake it.
I mean, Unholy is the biggest L.
Yeah. If you weren't gonna
That
take
was
it, I was
fucking
going
bad.
to. This is our all big L. This is depressing. Like, this is actually disrespectful. And there's something
How bad
vindictive
do you think
about it.
D-Mac is hurting right now?
D-Mac doesn't play Unholy Truly. He plays Blood. He's fine. But I know that
does he? I thought he was
he can
playing
switch
Unholy.
into Unholy, but I've only ever known him to do stuff on his Blood because I only ask him to tank. But he also has a great DPS. But this feels purposeful. And like right after the bug fixes, I don't know what's going on with this, but I know where everyone's coming from with the hate. I don't approve of the hate. I'll never approve of the hate. But I do get what you guys are saying. This is sus. This is sussy,
Ash
and I don't
plays
like it at
Blood,
all.
too.
It's kind of wild.
So cute.
Ash plays Blood too. Oh, I love when Ash tanks. He's good. They're good. They love it. And he says they've been liking Frost a lot too, which is awesome. Dennis, welcome in. Who's your L, Frost, besides Unholy?
I don't really know. Because like the hit to Unholy is just so absolutely diabolical. Like the rest of the hits don't really fucking matter.
Yeah, Unholy feels like a nerf. Brewmaster feels like a tweak. Devourer feels like a tweak.
Devour and
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Augmentation
like,
are probably the next two L's. Maybe Guardian. Depends on how this actually feels in game. Because this could feel great.
Like they just
Some like tanks shouldn't burst. Tanks need to be consistent. So this will probably actually feel more like a buff, even if it's a damage decrease. Because you'll have a lot more control in the dungeon, which is important.
Yeah.
This is a big
that's
enough.
my point. Like
This, because it also affects
I just feel
PvP,
like-
is also going to be the L. Because Devour got a big nerf in PvP. And Frost Mage got a big nerf in PvP as well. So I would say both of those would be my two L's. But Devour, it's still only like we said, maybe 10k. Evoker's probably maybe 7, 8k. Frost, we don't know because that's a secondary critical effect. That could be variable. This could be 5k to potentially whatever. I don't know, 10k. This doesn't feel like that big of a nerf at all. Brewmaster's definitely a tweak. That's a mechanical thing. Yeah, I think that's about it.
they
Like
only
everyone
feel
else
like
didn't really get,
adjustments.
and no one else really got touched. Truthfully, with the stick, there's really those four. And out of those four, the three biggest L's is Unholy, Devourer, and Evoker. Augmentation. And Augies. Overall, pretty good. Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. It's weird that it's this late in the season. Really weird.
Yeah,
Like-
it's kind of weird they didn't wait to just do it on like the 0.7 patch or whatever.
Right, like what are you guys auto-correcting from the 0.0? Like they're trying to auto-correct for 0.05, but at this point, just you should have left it. Like we were all settling in.
No, I don't think this is a 0.7 patch
No,
coming up.
no, this is just a bug patch.